guys, it's me, Tommy, and I'm here to show you 6 different ways you can create your own choker. I was inspired by some of these designs when I was on Pinterest, and these designs are very easy to make, and it literally cost me under $30 to create all 6 designs, and I have leftovers so you can make more for friends and you can sell them on your own. It's very fun, very easy to do. Each took me about under 5 minutes, so I'm going to show you them all. So first things first, I took a trip over to my local Hobby Lobby. I love this store when it comes to doing DIY stuff, and I looked in their jewelry aisle to just get some inspiration and get some materials that will look sort of like the designs that I want to create on Pinterest, as well as some other things on my own. So I picked up a few things because a lot of their jewelry and their strings were on sale. The strings and the cords were 50% off, and the threads were 50% off as well. So I did save a lot of money with the items that I wanted to get. So definitely check out your local Hobby Lobby. No, this is not sponsored. And just pick up the tools that you want because it's very easy for you to make your very own choker. And I'm definitely gonna go back to get more supplies. You will also need some jewelry tools, a measuring tape, and some scissors, and that's basically it. So this first Pinterest inspired choker features like a leather strap to it. So what I did is I picked up this leather bracelet in the jewelry section of Hobby Lobby, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in half to create my necklace. I also picked up this eyelets that's gonna go inside the holes, and then I'm also putting some strings inside those holes, sort of like the picture featured. So I'm counting the number of circles that I have, and I have 8, so that's perfect. I'm gonna cut it right after the 4th circle and split it in half. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make my eyelets, push my eyelets into those holes, and I'm using my jewelry tool to just stretch out the holes just a little bit because it was a little small to push my eyelid through. This was very difficult to do, so definitely use a jewelry tool or maybe like a knife to open up your holes. And after pushing the eyelets through, then it's time to lace up your choker. At first, I used this organza thread, and I definitely switched it up and I used my leather cord with it, but you basically just lace up your choker. Now, one thing I noticed is that when I applied the choker to my neck, that it was too short, and I had to just figure out how to make it longer. And the DIY inside of me just was thinking, like, why don't you just cut off the buckle and just use that hole where that buckle piece is, and then just put thread through it. So that's exactly what I did. I just cut off where the buckle was, and I used that hole that was inside there, and I inserted a thread inside that piece and a thread inside the other piece, and then just tied it in the back. And then in the front, I just fix up my lace section, tie it the way I want to tie it, and then voila, there you go. It's my Pinterest inspired choker. It's very bondish type, but I think what I'll do is I'm gonna find a different kind of material and try this choker again. But I did like the way this looks. This next choker that I'm going to create is just a small leather choker, and I'm using this material from the thread section. It's a nice leather type feel to it. And then you're going to need some closures, and these are the clips that I have for my closures. So you need to have something to just close it. There's no glue needed whatsoever. Here's a closer view of how the closure looks. This is some leftover closures I had. So basically I measured my neck, and the circumference around my neck is 13 inches. So I'm gonna roll my measuring tape out for 13 inches. And then I'm going to take my piece of leather or material and measure that for 13 inches. And then just cut it and put the rest of the thread to the side. After cutting my piece, I'm going to place my material inside my closure, and then I'm going to use my jewelry clasp, and I'm going to close it and pinch it together to help seal that end in. And that's it with that side. This literally is going to take you about a minute or two to do. It's so easy, guys. It's so easy. After sealing one end, you're going to take your material, you're going to wrap it around your neck to see how tight you want it to be, and hold it in place with the clasp. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen that clasp so I can take the necklace out from around my neck. and then I'm going to use my tool to close that portion. So this is me just taking out my clamp, or whatever you call it, and then I'm just going to use my jewelry tool to close that piece and snap off any extra thread, and voila, there goes your other choker. And literally, it was so easy to make, guys. I can't wait for you guys to try it out. Now here's another choker that I created. I wanted a nice little biker feel to it, so I picked up this gorgeous thread from the thread section. It's thinner than the actual leather one that I showed you before, so I'm going to do the same exact thing, guys. It's so easy to do. I keep saying that, but I'm going to take the length of what my circumference is. So I'm going to take out, I made it a little bit longer because it had like a little bit of extras there. So I'm going to cut 13.5 inches. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit over because you can always make it shorter, but don't make it too short because you can't make it any longer. And then again, just the same thing I did with the green piece, I'm going to push my material inside where the opening mouth is, and then just take my jewelry tool and just press it down. Just making sure you're holding your material down nice and flat, and then just squeezing and pushing down your tool to close your clasp. I hope that's the name of it. I'm not really sure if that's what it is. And when you close it down, just make sure you close it down nice and tightly, and then snap off any extra pieces. And that's it with that side. And then you go into your mirror just to measure it out to see how tight or how loose you want your choker to be, just like I did with the last one. And then you clasp it together, and then you cut off your end piece, and voila, now you have a biker-ish type choker. I love this one too. This one can pop with any color that you're wearing. Now this next choker was DIY Pinterest inspired. I love this one. This is very elegant, but she used velvet, but I'm just gonna use my my organza thread. That's the name of it. So with this particular one, I'm just using organza thread, and then I'm going to use these gold rings that I found in the jewelry section again of Hobby Lobby. So this one is a little bit different. So instead of me cutting off 13 inches, I want my organza thread to just be a little bit deeper than a sheer that it is. So I'm going to double that. So instead of it being 13 inches, I'm making 2 strings of 26 inches. So I just do 13, 13, snip it, and then I'm gonna take that 26 inches and measure it up again against another piece of the ribbon, and then cut it. I don't know why I keep saying thread, because it's not really thread, it's more like a ribbon. So I'm gonna take it and I'm going to cut that, so that's my 26 piece right here. Now if you don't have any jewelry tools, this one is very easy to make, because all I did was use a measuring tape and some scissors. And after you have your 2 pieces, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take one of the pieces and you're gonna pull it through your halo ring and just fold that piece in half. Make sure it's, you know, folded equally. And then you take your other piece and you throw it through your halo loop as well. And there you go. Now you can add adhesive if you want to it, but for me, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tie the back. So there's no clamp, I'm just gonna tie it to the back. So I'm just gonna place it right in the middle of my neck, and then just tie it into a nice cute little bow in the back. And there goes my Pinterest inspired choker. And I love it. I'm definitely gonna try it out with the leather next time, or maybe the velvet. Now this beautiful lace one can be done in 2 different ways. So I picked up this lace package. It has white and it has black inside in the actual package. And this one, again, like I said, I'm going to say it over and over again, so easy to do. So I picked up an extra button that I had laying around my house in order to make this one. And then you need some thread. This is going to involve some sewing because you're going to sew that button on. You're going to measure it 13 inches. What I love about this piece of lace right here is that it's nice and stretchy, and it's super soft, so it won't irritate your neck. And then I'm going to take my button and I'm going to sew it onto one end. Now don't worry about that end looking all raggedy. I'm definitely going to cut it so it's nice and clean, and I'm just sewing the button onto that end. And like I did with the last few chokers that I showed you, definitely going to measure it on your neck to make sure that it fits properly. So that's how the button looks, nice and sewn. Measure it onto my neck, and then I'm just going to take some scissors and I'm just going to slightly cut a small tiny hole, and then just push my button through, And there you go, you have a nice lace necklace that you can either wear it in the front with the button showing, or you can just turn it around and where it's just nice and plain. So this one is really cute and very elegant, and you can use whatever button you please. You can also use Velcro if you want, but I think the button was just helpful and handy, so I'd have to buy another one. Pinterest inspired choker, as you can see, was $5,375, but I guess they was using real diamonds. But with me, I'm just going to use 3 charms that I found from the jewelry section of Hobby Lobby. Again, you're going to measure 13 inches because that's the measurement for my neck, but I'm going to do it 3 times so I can get my 3 layers from it, making sure that they're equally 13 inches. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm cutting my 3 strips. And then I'm going to use these charms from Hobby Lobby. I use T and M because that's actually my initials. I don't know why I did the and. I should have did the L for my husband, so it would have been T and L, but whatever. Then you're going to slide your charms through your choker and just lay it down equally. And just like the other necklaces, you're going to take your clasp that you have. This one's going to be a little bit difficult because this leather cord was pretty thick. So just take your time when pushing your leather through. If anything, I definitely would suggest getting a clasp or a closure that's a little bit bigger so that all 3 layers of leather can go through. So it just took me a while to actually close it. So this one looks a little like funky, wonky, but no one's going to see it because I actually hid like that back portion from it. So just letting you know that's going to be a little bit difficult, so definitely use something bigger. And then I made sure that my bro was nice and evenly flat so that when I'm doing it on my neck, the cord is not twisted the opposite way. So just make sure that you're doing it the right way. Put it against your neck to see how tight you want it. With this one, I wanted to lay really flat against my neck like the picture, so I'm just gonna make it just a little bit tight. And because it is a leather material, I'm able to stretch a little bit more. And then I just spaced out my charms in the middle, and that's it with that. With this one, I'm definitely gonna do different charms. I'm actually gonna try actual cord instead of a leather piece, but this was my DIY Pinterest inspired choker. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my 6 designs. Let me know if you've tried it yourself. And I'm definitely gonna just keep making more chokers because it's so fun, so easy to do. I showed you guys 6 designs in under 13 minutes. Again, this budget cost me $28 to create all of these materials. Well, all these chokers. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.